Welcome back into Te Akau TV, Louis Herman-Watt and Jamie Richards, this time not in person. It was good to catch up, Jamie, up at the Karaka, that part of the world. It's been busy, but it was good to catch up and film one of these in person. Back to Matamata for you now, and I'm back in Auckland. It's been a busy week or so, hasn't it?
Yeah, massive sort of 10 days. We started looking at yearlings at Karaka Tuesday a week ago. So yeah, it's been a massive time for everybody involved, and not just buying horses, but training them and the guys that are doing the filming and all of those sorts of things. It's a massive team effort, and we can't thank everybody enough for the support that they give us through this really busy time.
And it is a historic time. David pulling the trigger on upwards of 35, I think, the total, and Book 2 still running on as we go now. Overall, for you as a trainer, and you're there and and I watched you, the way you inspect the horses, it's always with a lens to how they're going to race. Do you think that the collective horse purchasing that you got gives you a nice chance with a wide range of races at the top level?
Yeah, we bought some lovely horses, and as Dave has always said all the way through, it's pretty irrelevant what the horse looks like at the moment in terms of where it is with its development, but what is very relevant is what that horse looks like when it's in the birdcage at the races for the first time, and that's the really difficult thing, is to try and work out what that horse is going to look like in 12 months, 18 months, 2 years. And we've tried to buy horses that we don't have to wait too long on, but we've also tried to buy some horses that are going to develop into nice stayers. So it's a balancing act between the 2-year-olds and the 3-year-olds and the sprinters and the stayers. But we think we've bought a nice range of stallions, a nice range of different types from a whole group of different studs and different families. And, Dave really pinned his ears back in to buy 35 or 38 horses. Quite incredible, and that's why this stable is so successful, because we've got the young stock coming through.
He was on fire, wasn't he? DC, he was up and about. It was good to see the great man in work.
Yeah, he was in fine form, and it's a big help when the stable's going well, and everybody's pretty positive about what's happening in New Zealand. And obviously we've been competitive in Australia in the last 12 or 18 months, which people take notice of as well. So I think it's all coming together really nicely, and hopefully we can carry it on.
Okay, well, just quickly before we get to the weekend previews, we've got a Group 1 day at Trentham, then Counties 2 on Sunday. Speaking of Australia, probably a stable darling. She's over. I saw she trialled this morning at Geelong, just ridden quietly, and then in the same colours of Brendan and Joe Lindsay, Carmelas, yesterday up in New South Wales. Have you checked those out, and you're relatively happy from what you're seeing?
Yeah, I was really pleased with how Carmelas trialled yesterday in a very good heat against horses like Nature Strip and Bivouac and September Run and Fun Starler. That was a star-studded trial field, and she held her spot and trialled nicely. She goes to the light fingers first up, and then into the surround. She's in good shape, trying to emulate the deeds of Probabile from last year. And Probabile trialled at Geelong this morning. She was a little bit plain, but she can do that from time to time. Got back in a quick run heat and was sort of back and wide and kept up a gallop, but was never really going to be a winning chance. So she races Saturday week, first up in the Jeffrey Balmain and a Fillies and Mares 1200 at Caulfield. And that'll be her first run as we head towards the All-Star Mile.
Well, exciting stuff there with Probabile. A lot of people love that horse, including myself. And she can do big things this year. She's so young. She's just raced in so many big races. You forget how young her career actually is. All right, Trentham, let's rock on. Race 4. Join Team Te Akau. This is timely. Join Team Te Akau, 6-time Karaka Million winner. It's a rating 74, over 1,000 metres. And Pokuru's gift from Barrier 1 is back. Obi Bolson carrying 59. Opie's also back. So this rock and pop gelding went pretty well down south. He's been freshened and trialled since, Jamie.
Yeah, he's going well. He's a very big horse that's had a couple of problems with his wind, hence why we keep him sharp. But for a big horse, he's got an awful lot of speed. So we'll be able to use that one barrier from there, which I think will be a big help. Hopefully we can get him up and behind the speed, and I'm sure that he's ready to run a nice race.
Race 7 doesn't take us long to hook into the main course. Group 1 Harcourts Thorndon Mile, $200,000. Oh, we're excited about this one. Melody Belle is back from gate 1 with OP up, 57. Freshened since her brave third in the McKinnon to Arcadia Queen, who was just dead set flying that day. Running for her 13th Group 1, which would tie the all-timer Sunline. So very, very short on the tote, but probably deservedly so, Jamie. How's the great mare coming back into work?
Yeah, she's in really good shape. Very pleased with her. She's had a couple of exhibition gallops and a trial, and done some really nice work in the last week of 10 days. So she's where we need her to be, I think, for a mile first up. It's never easy to get a horse ready to run a mile first up, but it can be done, as we saw with Agon last week. So we'll try and jump on the bandwagon there with those boys. But she's in good shape, really happy with her and ready to run well.
There you go. That might become a thing, the Agon. Yeah, lots of people wondering, and I don't know if you've got the insight or you're able to tell us, is this going to be her last preparation in New Zealand?
Yes, I would think so. She's done a great job, and she's a sound and healthy and fit mare. And the last thing we would like to see is something go wrong. And as horses get older, the likelihood of that happening does increase, as it does with any athlete. So she's done a wonderful job, and this will be her last racing preparation at this stage, as far as I'm aware, having discussed it with John Galvin. And we wanted to go out at the top of her game.
Awesome. Okay. There you go. That's the Group 1 of the weekend. Race 9, NZCIS Wellington Cup. It's a Group 3 over 3,200. And Te Akau Caliburn, again from Barrier 1. There you go. 3 Barrier 1s. Michael McNabb does the riding at 55. He was pretty good for 6 in the City of Auckland Cup, Jamie. I noticed that he's never run over 32 before.
No, he hasn't, but this is the trip that he's bred to be running over. He's a European import who's had a few niggly little issues, and we've just had to race him pretty sparingly. But I thought he just showed a glimpse of getting back to some good form last time at Ellerslie, and didn't have a lot of room. Really important that he relaxes in the first part of this race. Like, he wanted to overdo it a little bit at Ellerslie. He's up to 2 miles. He's got to spit the bit out the first 1,200 metres of the race, or the first mile of the race, and conserve energy. And he should be able to do that from Barrier 1. He has run well in the St. Ledger at Wellington before, so he's shown that he can handle the longer distance and the track there at Wellington. And I think he's going to be a really interesting runner tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. Exciting stuff. Counties Manukau on Sunday. So there's a few you've got going up here after Wellington Trentham on Saturday. Let's start race 1, where you've got a small army lining up, Jamie. The Mount Shop 1200, it's rating 74. Burgundy Rose from Barrier 1. Joe Camarudin does the riding, 61.5, so but claiming the 4. She's taken on 14 rating points this preparation when I went back and looked, which probably indicates she's doing something right.
Yeah, she's racing really well, and very pleased with how she's going. Not often would we run a horse this high on the ratings in this grade, but just with her allowance and Joe's claim, she still gets in relatively well. Nice low barrier, should jump up and get on the speed, and off the back of that one at Taronga has to rate another genuine each way chance.
Summer Monsoon with OP from gate 2, 61.5. One on lovely odds at Cup Day in November, and has trialled since. Yeah,
so there's quite a few of these horses that have come back from the South Island and had 3 weeks at Te Akau, and then they've come back and trialled at Matamata, and this is just a sort of a run to kick them off. He's got to carry a fair bit of weight there, but he's got a nice low gate, and it'll be interesting to see how he fronts up. I'd say he will improve with the run, but when he gets the right conditions and gets the right run in the race, he can give a bit of cheek.
Yep, you're right. There are a few of those, and we'll rattle through them. Aotearoa Masha Hasuzumi claiming 2 from 60.5. So he finished his Southern Prep with a couple of seconds.
Yeah, he ran out his last couple of races really well. I was very pleased with his run at Riccarton on the last day there behind Marcus Aurelius, where he got held up a little bit and finished off very strongly. So again, I think he'll improve with the run, but we need to get him started and keep an eye out for him at 1400 next time.
Ocean Belle with Danielle from barrier 8, 54.5. She's Ocean Park mare, and she actually hasn't raced since October, has she?
No, we've just given her a little bit of time. She's a mare that's got a few sort of soreness type problems. We've just got to look after her, and we're pretty keen to miss the firmer tracks over the Christmas period. But she trialled well at Matamata, and I think one of her best wins was at Tauranga. So we sort of had this race picked out right-handed for her. She'll have to be at her best, but she'll be off the speed and finding the line very well.
Right, there's the small army accounted for in race 1. Race 2, Preston Family Birthday Celebrations 1200. It's an open handicap. It's a pretty decent little race, this. Remington with Opie, 58.5 from barrier 6. He's a Darcy Brahma gelding. And another one that was peaking nicely on Cup Day.
Yeah, Remington built to a very good win at Riccarton, as you say, and both him and Equinox are like, Summer Monsoon and AT lad coming back from the South Island after trialling. I think he can give a bit of cheek, but probably his pet distance is 1400.
There you go. And as you mentioned, Equinox from gate 11, Danielle's doing the riding there. Shala from gate 10 has Joe Cameroon on. So they've got a nice little combination going, this jockey horse situation. So he's carrying 55.5, still claims the 4, and he's been lugging quite a bit, but he's up to open class. So he's going to be thinking how good's this Shala will be.
Yeah, he's not an overly big horse either, so he should appreciate the drop in weight. But Mascarpone will start a very short price favourite off the back of his win off the back of his run in the Telegraph. But Scheller will get up on speed and give a bit of cheek for a long way.
Race 5, Hanui Farm 1400, another open handicap, and Romantic Lady from gate 7 with Joe doing the riding, claiming the 4, so down to 57.5. She's a power mare, and she started short enough in her couple of tilts at open handicap, just hasn't quite hit the line first yet, Jamie.
Yeah, she's been running well without winning. She's got to carry a lot of weight up there on Sunday, which is, I guess, a little bit frustrating. For a rating of 81, you wouldn't expect it to carry 61.5 in an open handicap, and perhaps that's a little area in the handicapping system that we haven't got quite right at this stage. But she's drawn 7. She'll probably get off the speed a little bit, but expect her to be hitting the line very strongly.
Yeah, I think you're not the only trainer kind of pointing that out there, Jamie. So we'll see what happens in the next 12 months or so there. Race 8, the heart of racing, 1600. It's a rating 65. Baby Shark with Opie Boston on carrying 59 from gate 10. So the Rip Van Winkle gelding kind of finally got it together and broke his maiden at Ruakaka. Do you think something's clicked, or you're not too sure?
I think it's just a horse that's needed time. I was really impressed with the way that he won at Ruakaka, and sort of leading into that run, it was sort of shape up or ship out. So he's certainly he's gone the right way. He's done some nice work at home since then. I was sort of getting him ready to run at Matamata here last Monday when the sales are on, but I just feel like he's perhaps a touch better right-handed. So we've headed to the sort of the Sunday meeting, which is worth Saturday Stakes. He's going to get back a little bit and running from his awkward gait, which is just his pattern anyway, and look for him to be finding the line well. It's just whether he can handle that step up in class.
Radagast 11 out of barrier 11, with Troy Harris carrying 59, and he also lines up in the same race. Yeah,
he's also going well. He got tripped up by the wet track at Te Akau last time. But he's won at this course and over this, what might have been 1400, was it? So he's a winner on the course, and he drew wide at Matamata last Monday. So we waited for this race. But I like the way he's progressing. These two horses have done some nice work together, and I think now that they're fully mature, it is sort of starting to click together for them.
And finishing up, which looks like it's going to be quite a busy day for you lot at Counties, Jamie. Lilikoi in race 9, I think it is, from gate 10 with Joe Cameroon claiming 4, so down to 55.5. Charm Spirit mare, and she got the cash quite nicely at Rotorua. Tried really hard all the way to the line for Danielle, I think, that day.
Yeah, she did, and we've sort of been held up a little bit with her. She was going to go to the anniversary, but the weights were compressed with a higher rated horse up the top of the book, so we missed that. And then we had her ready to go up to Rapa, a week, 10 days ago, and the rain arrived. So we're here by default, drawn a little bit awkward. It'll be up to Jo to try and find the right run in the race, but her work's been solid. She's a stakes winning mare and can be competitive in this field.
Jamie, are you a very emotional person?
No, sometimes, not sure. No, don't think so.
She was on the back foot already. Well, let me put one in short for you. Melody Belle, this is her last preparation in New Zealand. Obviously, you train her when she goes over to Sydney. If this is it for her, your youngish career, what is young? You've got a long way to go. Pretty handy though, I reckon. She's meant a lot to you, hasn't she? So when you throw a saddle on her these last couple of times, assuming you won't be over in Australia, will it mean a lot?
Absolutely, it will, and it not only to me but our entire team. Everybody's pitched in and looked after her so well for the last 5 or 6 years, and she started a fantastic streak for us in the Karaka Million. So we'll never forget that. But she's a true champion of the turf, and really looking forward to her racing on Saturday.
Awesome. There you go. Jamie Richards, your Premiership leading trainer. Louis Herman-Watt. That's Te Akau TV. It's a busy weekend, so good luck to all connections, everyone doing the riding, and hopefully the winning continues.